Thank you for clicking on the video. We are the Real Detroit Lions fans. If you are a real Detroit Lions fan, we want you to hit subscribe, hit the like button, and leave a comment. We want to hear your feedback, and we want to hear your thoughts on the Kansas City game and how Detroit Lions look going forward, going into their bye week and beyond. So Andrew, why don't you go over the highlights of the NFC North real quick for me?
I mean, there's not really highlights. It's more of stories.
Lowlights then.
Yeah, for sure. Dude, Trubisky. I've been saying all along he sucks. Now he's hurt. So honestly, the Bears could play better.
That's not fair, man. Come on.
Bro,
he's not that bad, dog. He's not that bad.
He's bottom 5 in the league. All right, he's not bottom 5, but he's bottom tier for sure, 100%. Chase Daniel replaced him. Played pretty well against a Minnesota defense. So,
yeah.
I mean, Trubisky went out. They played well. I don't think Daniels is anything special, but, I mean, he hits open passes, which Trubisky doesn't always do that. But he's not as much of a playmaker as Trubisky because he'll run the ball and whatever. But anyways.
Do you think that they're having the Wentz effect right now? Do you know what I'm talking about? Because the Eagles have clearly had a little more success with Nick Foles, and it's brought in some, debate whether they should have just kept Nick Foles or Carson Wentz. And clearly Carson Wentz is better as a player and more talented, but they simplify the offense with Nick Foles, and, Nick Foles clearly galvanizes the troops, as Stephen A. Smith likes to say, So do you think that that's kind of the same situation going on in Chicago? Like maybe Trubisky's not the true leader that they want him to be, or maybe is Nagy asking him to do a little too much because Nagy is from the it's from the same coaching tree as Andy Reid,
Dude, honestly, I don't think you can you're asking your quarterback to do too much. Like, dude, you're the leader of the team. If you can't do it, you're not cut out for it, So.
Well, you think that way about Wentz as well?
Dude, Wentz had an MVP type year before he went down with his knee injury, and Foles came in and played phenomenal. I mean, he won him a Super Bowl. But what has Wentz done since the injury?
Yeah,
he's been a little bit above average, but overall, it's not that great. And
yeah,
dude, Trubisky.
Well, he could still be hurt,
Yeah. What did the Bears go last season? Were they 12-4 or 10-6?
They're definitely not 10-6. They're either 12-4 or 11-5.
Okay. Anyways, dude, their defense had only allowed 12 points per game. I don't care what offense you have running, you're gonna win games, And he's not that great, dude. There's a lot of times where the defense holds a team to 10 points and their offense can't put up any points. So I don't think the Bears' offense is anything to worry about. If you can put up mid-20 points against them, you're gonna win against them. Easily, because they can't do crap. I don't know. They're creative. They got wide receivers. They got tight ends. They got running backs. I don't really know what the problem is, and it's not Matt Nagy. His play calls are very creative. So who does that leave? Who does that leave to blame? The quarterback. So I don't know.
The O-line, that too.
Dude,
but I don't think it's O-line. I think it's Trubisky as well. I'm just playing devil's advocate. Yeah. And they were 12-4 last year. They were 12-4 last year. But it frightens me because I think that Trubisky does have the talent to be very, very good. So maybe he doesn't have the talent to be elite, and maybe he'll never be elite. I don't know, but I think that he has the talent because he shows flashes, and that scares the crap out of me. Excuse me. That scares me a lot because I don't want, as a Lions fan, Nagy to adjust, or do some crazy stuff, and then halfway through the season, Trubisky is now clicking with the offense, and now they're unstoppable because their defense is so good and everything. You just said it. They have talent all around that roster. Once things start clicking on the offense, then what's going to happen? Because they're holding teams. They held the Vikings to how many? 6 points?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
They only held the Packers to 10?
Yeah, I think something like that, around that.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's just Yeah.
Dude, yeah. So, anyways, when it comes to offenses, if you have one piece missing out of coaching, players, whatever, it's all going to fall apart. I mean, you saw that with Minnesota. Like, Pat Shermer left, they fell apart. And they brought in Kirk Cousins, which Kirk Cousins, talent-wise, I think is way better than Case Keenum. Even though he's not the greatest, but he is better. So,
yeah.
dude, with the Bears, I think it's the same thing. Trubisky is not their quarterback for that system or anything. Like, they need someone that can throw the ball very accurately and not get turnovers. Like, you just need a smart quarterback, and they'll drive down the field easily. You have running backs, you have wide receivers, you have the talent, you have a system, and it's not Trubisky. So, anyways, enough with the Bears. I think their defense will win them games for sure. And anytime their offense isn't clicking, even if they're not clicking on all cylinders, they're probably going to lose the game because defense can only do so much. I mean, honestly. Going back to the Vikings, what does that say about the Vikings offense? They only scored 6 points against the Bears. I mean, dude, Cousins is not throwing the ball well. Like, I don't know what it is. He used to play phenomenal with the Redskins. I mean, they're a top 10 scoring offense, whatever. And now he has Adam Thielen, he has Stephon Diggs, Kyle Rudolph, and he has freaking Dalvin Cook, which is running over everyone. Given he did not have a good game against the Bears, but it's the Bears. It's also a divisional game, whatever. But, like, dude, Cousins needs to step his game up. And whoever the offensive coordinator is now also needs to be more creative and get his players open. But, yeah, Cousins is missing a lot of throws. And their defense bounced back significantly since last year because last year they fell apart. And I know they had a couple injuries, but, like, they bounced back. But their offense is just – like, they won games against crappy teams. You know what I'm saying? Like, they killed Atlanta. And then they won against who did they beat? They got destroyed against the Packers. They lost against the Bears, and then their other game wasn't the greatest.
Yeah.
I mean, no, they won. They just weren't versing a good team. So, like, what does that really say about their team and where they're at? I think defensively, their defense could win them games, and they have a lot of playmakers. But I think the Vikings have a better chance of winning games than the Bears do, just because of everything. I mean, they have better receivers for sure. They have the better running back, and their defense is around the same as the Bears, but not as good. But, I mean, they're still phenomenal. So, I mean, I know we talked about it last week. I need to see more from both teams because both teams are struggling. Like, you know, they're struggling on multiple facets of the game.
Yeah.
You got anything to say about the Vikings?
Yeah, no, the Vikings, they definitely scare me, and going into the season, they're probably the most scary because, you know, if they're, you know, Dalvin Cook's back, and we know how great he is, and if he's back to full health, which he clearly is, you know, and if Cousins can get going, then yeah, just like I was saying with the Bears, like if they could get clicking on offense, then it's going to be very hard to defeat them. Their defense has the ability to keep teams, very successful teams, below, you know, 15 points, you know. Mm-hmm. So, and so does the Bears. Like, they're in a similar situation, and, like, man, nobody was happier than I was that Pat Shermer left. Like, like, that whole situation, like, you know, I don't know if some fans remember or not, but, like, Patricia is from New York, so he was debating going to New York or Detroit. He ended up coming to Detroit because of his ties with Bob Quinn in the Patriots organization. And then New York got Pat Shermer, which was just a win-win because this dude, you know, everybody was saying, like, you know, oh, man, the Vikings are so good. I'm like, no, Pat Shermer is so good. Dude, this dude had Teddy Bridgewater as quarterback. He went down, put in Sam Bradford. Nothing changed, you know what I mean? Or, like, you know, they got better. It was like, it was clicking all cylinders, blowing up, right? He goes down like he always does every single year. Case Keenum steps in, same thing. That does not happen. I know. So everybody, it's so funny. Everybody right now is like, damn, Daniel Jones. I'm like, Case Keenum. They're like, Daniel Jones is so good. I'm like, okay, please, like, I don't buy it. I don't buy this Daniel Jones hype. But let's go. I'm hyped to see him do well. I don't care. But especially because I think they're facing, who are they facing this week? Aren't they facing the Vikings this week?
The Giants?
Yeah.
I'm not entirely sure.
I think so, and I hope so, because I hope that's Pat Shermer returning, and that's going to be a good game. I can't wait to see that game.
I think that'd be a good game, dude. The
Yeah.
Giants are playing really good ball right now.
Vikings versus Giants. Yeah.
Be
What
good.
stinks though, what stinks for us is that they're gonna face him without Saquon, and we're gonna face him probably with Saquon.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure when we're versing the Giants, but Saquon's probably out for like another 4 or 5 weeks.
I think that's around when we're gonna face them. I might be wrong, but actually, never mind. Whatever. Anyway, yeah. Okay, go on. What do you think about Green Bay, the leaders of the NFC?
Dude, honestly, what I saw this last game, Green Bay cannot stop the run. I mean, I don't know, dude. Teams are running on them very well. So overall, their defense is playing significantly better, but their run defense is bad. So like, if you can make them have to stack the box to cover the run, you take advantage of their cornerbacks, and it's game. And their offense is not clicking, dude. They're clicking here and there on certain drives, but like overall, man, they cannot like drive the ball successfully. Like on multiple drives, like dude, they're struggling to score. And like they versus the Eagles, right after we did, and they lost. And like we could have easily beat the Eagles even more points. And Jordan Howard freaking blew up. They even need wins. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Their defense is good, but they have a huge flaw in the run defense, and their offense is like they're off, dude. If they don't have Aaron Jones, Jamal Williams got hurt, just in case you know. If Aaron Jones isn't playing well, it's all on Rodgers. And I don't think I would ever in my life say this, but dude, Rodgers is not getting it done. You know what I'm saying? Like
he's not getting it done in this offense, at least. And
sure.
yeah, and people, looked past few weeks because their defense looked so great, so they were like they didn't need to do it, and that was just the scheme. Yeah, exactly. They're getting the W's, and it's funny because like we were also getting the W's in like very, very similar ways as them, but the narrative was so different. It was like, wow, how are the Lions this lucky? But it's okay, I get it. But anyway, the Packers, it's just so funny to me that they like now their offense is not clicking. And like, Rodgers, I've been saying this for years, and like Rodgers inherited Brett Favre's, offense and Brett Favre's team. He got it. He got McCarthy. He got it right. Jumped right in. McCarthy was still the coach. You know what I mean? And he's been the play caller the whole time. And it's just like and everybody says how terrible McCarthy was, but it's like, it benefits for a quarterback and coach to have that relationship moving forward each year and allowing that team to build off their successes and failures,
Yeah.
When Stafford comes in, and inherits the 0-16 team, and then he gets, hit with a coaching change after a few years into his career because they're not getting the results they want, you know what I mean? And then, then an offensive coordinator change, then a coaching change, offensive coordinator, you know what I mean? You're not you're not building off your success is what I'm trying to say, and now look what Stafford's doing. And it's a very small amount of data points in the population if you want to talk about statistics because it's only been a few games, but like Bevel seems to finally be a very good play caller, and we're looking very explosive on offense, very dynamic, something that we didn't look like under Jim Bob Cooter with almost the same amount of like pieces besides we lost Golden Tate. You know what I mean? So now Rodgers is seeing how, deficient it is when you have a new offense and you're trying to learn a new language and you can't build off the success of before because you're just working with this guy for the first time and they have their own philosophies. And, they brought in offensive coordinators from teams that didn't have good offenses. That's what I never understood. Like, you brought in the offensive coordinator from the Titans and from Jacksonville. I didn't understand that at all. Jacksonville's offense sucked, and the Titans' offense has sucked. Like, I don't get why they'd make those whatever. Anyway, so I think that that's what Aaron Rodgers is dealing with, and it's for the first time in his career. And I think that people we're really starting to see the real Aaron Rodgers into his career. And I think that the Packers are vulnerable right now. I don't think that they're the powerhouse that they seem to be. And the fact that they beat Chicago and the Vikings means a pretty good thing in our division. I think our division is going to be very competitive and very good, but I think that it's winnable from what we've seen from the Lions, which is crazy to say.
Well, I just want to point something out. Right now, the Lions' toughest stretch is almost already behind us, and our record is 2-1-1. So there's that. The Packers, on the other hand, have the easiest stretch right now. A lot of home games against a lot of okay teams. You know, they versus the Vikings. The Vikings are freaking hot and cold. They versus the Bears. They barely squeaked a win out against the Bears. And then they just lost to Philly. So now they're going to go versus Dallas, which Dallas just had a kind of crappy, like, brutal loss. They're going to want to bounce back, dude. So that game is going to be phenomenal. There's a huge Cowboys-Packers rivalry. So, I mean, their schedule is going to get harder as the season goes on, and ours is going to get easier. You know, like, we have easier games down the stretch. We're not versing Kansas City. We're not versing freaking Philly and the Chargers. Like, versing teams like the Giants, which who knows what their team looks like now with Daniel Jones and Saquon Hurry and whatever. But, like, our schedule is kind of flipping. So it'll be interesting to see what happens when they're on the road and versing hard teams and we're at home and versing easier teams and stuff like that. So overall, I like to wait until around week 8 to really see, like, what teams are like. But right now, I mean, it is early in the season, so you could say the same thing about the Lions, like, oh, we got to fix our mistakes and whatever. But each of those teams has phenomenal parts to it, but they also have weaknesses that can be exploited.
Yeah.
So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. I totally agree. Yeah, definitely. And we'll see those weaknesses develop, and we'll see who fixes their mistakes and who disciplines their team, and how that all plays out, because that's true. Like, there are just big mistakes that if you took away those outliers, because every team wants to not make those big mistakes. If you took away those mistakes and who's actually dominant in the game, I think we were the dominant team in every game so far. And that's crazy that even against Kansas City, I think we were the dominant team. And if we didn't make those critical mistakes and kept playing at that dominant level that we were the majority of the game, I think that we would have won every game we've played so far. And this is a new Lions. This is not the same old Lions.
Yeah.
All right. So, yeah, I mean, that's all we have for you guys. Please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and leave a comment. Who do you think is going to win the division? Will the Lions finally win for the first time in our lives? Probably the first time in yours as well, if you're listening to this. So, yeah. All right. We're the real Detroit Lions fans. All right. One pride. Go Lions.